Hello everyone, Tom here. I want to start something a little bit different with this video. These will be vlogs, but this is also going to be something more of a conversation that I want to have with you guys, my subscribers. It's sort of an asymmetric relationship that we have in which, I talk at you guys and you post comments and I read some of them. But I'm trying to get a little bit more feedback from you guys and sort of make it a little bit more of a sort of collaborative effort on this channel. And in that kind of mind, I want to start a conversation. And the topic of that conversation is games and art, and the relationship between art and games. Obviously, I am of the opinion that games are art. As a just sort of indication of that, here's a screen from the beginning of Dark Souls. So this is from the intro cinematic. And if this were, instead of being digitally rendered, painted on a canvas and hung in an art museum, it might not be the most sought after painting in that museum, but people would not deny that it was art. They might argue that it's shitty art, but no one would really go after it as, no, that's not art. And yet there are still people that want to say that games aren't art. And we've seen this happen with like every new medium in the history of everything, basically. Comic books aren't art, movies weren't art when they first came out. That's such a laughable concept now because they're the most consumed art form on the planet, I would probably argue. Well, I mean television, but film, right? So why are video games kind of still struggling in this? I mean, if we look back to like Super Mario Brothers, it's been over 20 years since like video games have even had mainstream consumption, but they're not really getting this level of acceptance that we're actually seeing with anything else in terms of art forms. So my question for you guys is, why do you think that is? Rap is newer than video games. Why? But I don't hear people saying rap's not music. I'm sure that was a thing that people said for a little while at the start of rap. But I feel like, I mean, even Roger Ebert, I think he took back that comment eventually, him personally. But that's like a pretty huge name coming out and saying, no, this is not an art form. This is just entertainment, which is sort of like saying it's trash entertainment that you shouldn't be poisoning your mind with. And I'm wondering, I'm sort of just wondering, why is that the case? So I want to hear what you guys have to say. I have an idea, but I think you guys probably have good ideas too. And so in order to, make this more of a symmetric sort of relationship where your guys' input is, at least put on the same stage as mine, I'd like to be able to get some of the things that you guys say and incorporate them into the next video. And just as a demonstration that, video games are art, here's this again, and I mean, you can analyze this, right? That's maybe one thing you could say, like something is art if it's man-made and worthy of analysis. So here we have, a humanoid figure, probably a human being, you just say, but, cloaked in enough shadow that you can't necessarily tell, in just a bleak surrounding. And we have them curled into the fetal position, signifying a level of helplessness. And in an inhospitable environment at that. So we can also see that there's fire, though. And fire, we know, is, if we go back to like the origin of mankind, one of the things that allowed us to kind of step up from being an animal and start being more of, something that we consider apart from animals. It's sort of an indication, a symbolic indication of, the start of technology and the start of community. There's all sorts of symbolism that ties into fire. And so, to me, what this is a statement on mankind's innovation as a defense against an inhospitable environment and as a weapon against our own helplessness. kind of sounds like art, doesn't it? So why has more mind been put towards football than has been put towards video games? More attention has been paid to football than every video game ever made. And I think that that's kind of a crime. So I'm going to start a dialogue. Because someone's got to start a dialogue about video games and what they mean, where their place is in culture. Let me hear what you have to say.